Let's bring in Robert Gibbs now from the White House. Now, Robert, the resignation may take effect this morning, but Massa is going on Glenn Beck this afternoon, was all over Rush Limbaugh yesterday afternoon on Larry King Live. Tonight, we expect to hear a lot more about how he was pushed out because of his vote on health care. He's made very specific and pointed charges against Rahm Emanuel, Democratic leaders in the House. What's the White House response?
Well, look, I think this whole story is ridiculous. I think the latest excuse is silly and ridiculous. George, let's go through what we've heard from Congressman Massa. Last week, on Wednesday, was having a recurrence of cancer. On Thursday, he was guilty of using salty language. On Friday, we learned he's before the Ethics Committee to be investigated on charges of sexual harassment. So, look, I think clearly his actions appear to be in the appropriate venue in the Ethics Committee to look at. But we're focused not on crazy allegations, but instead on making this system work for the American people rather than work for insurance companies. George.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. The president was pretty fired up yesterday. He took aim at the insurance companies, also took aim at Democrats, worried about the election in November. But a lot of Democrats think this could cost Democrats control of the House. They're joined by independent analysts like Charlie Cook. Partisans like Karl Rove. Is losing control of the House a price worth paying to get health care?
Well, look, George, as the president said yesterday, we need a system, as I said, that works for the American people, not for insurance companies. And how much longer are we going to wait while insurance company rates go through the roof to get something done? I think the president understands that good policy always makes for ultimately good politics. His focus is on getting something done so that we can make sure that small businesses and families aren't struggling with the high cost of health insurance that goes up each and every year. He's going to lead this fight, George, to get this done over the next couple of weeks, and it'll be something that Democrats can be proud to run on in November.
So it won't cost them the House, and if it does, so be it?
I don't think it's going to cost Democrats the House. I think this will be an accomplishment that members can be proud of, not just in this election, George, but for decades to come. We'll have finally done something on health insurance reform that means something real to American families, to small business owners that are struggling with those high costs. That's what's important to the American people. We were sent here to do something.
You know, Congressman Bart Stupak on the program last week said he was willing to bring down the health care bill if the president didn't change the abortion language. Now he's a little more optimistic, telling the AP he can work out a deal with the president. Is the president willing to negotiate new language on abortion?
Well, look, this president is willing to keep the promise that we've made throughout this. This is not a bill about abortion. This is about health care reform. I think there's no doubt that we can come to a solution that maintains the rules that are in place, that federal funds aren't used for abortions, while protecting a woman's right to choose.
Finally, we're just about out of time, but there have been a flurry of stories lately about White House infighting, staff tension between the president, his chief of staff, other senior aides. What does the president think about these stories, and does he have confidence in his chief of staff and his senior team?
The president has confidence in each and every person that works here, George. We're privileged to serve the American people from the White House. The president is not focused on palace intrigue. It says something about this town that this goes for entertainment. He wants us to focus on getting something done for the American people, getting health care reform through Congress, focusing on the economy and getting jobs coming back here to this country.
Okay, Robert Gibbs, thanks very much.
Thanks, George.